Give you all some time to come in. Um, Let me go to Instagram. Hope you all can hear me. Hope y'all can hear me. Giving y'all some time to come on. Giving you all some time to come on. What's up, Mika? What's up, in before the fall? What's up, Deshaunay? What's up, RDMS Pie? What's up, IG? Let me get started. Okay, we're on part 2 of the Lyin Queen, Stacey Abrams. And I remember somebody didn't want me to do this. And the funny thing is that there's a lot more information on Stacey Abrams that I have. I mean, I'm talking about a lot. Financial, everything on Stacey Abrams. And it's sad because, again, to be black is to be controlled. And the only way this stuff works is if they put a black face in front of you. If you think about it, Bill Clinton wasn't black, but then they started saying he was black. Think about the psychology behind saying that Bill Clinton was the first black president. Think about that kind of brainwashing and psychology. A white man playing a saxophone and he's able to be black. Think about that. A white man playing a saxophone on Arsenio Hall, and that made him black. But again, this is all about control. What's up, Lisa? What's up, Kenya? What's up, Venus? Mika? Real Talk, Nikki? Rita, what's up? Kenya again? Voodoo? Louisiana Sister Squad podcast. What's up, y'all? Patrina, what's up? Acts 238 channel, what's up? But yeah, so we fast forward. You said Bill Clinton is hiding the sun. Said he's hiding a black sun. So anyway, it's just the psychology behind it. The psychology behind making Bill Clinton black and then making Obama black when he's not black, then making Kamala black when she's not black, or Kamala. Like 3 people that aren't black that black folks made black. So you see the psychology is not even needed by white liberals. Black people are on autopilot. Black folks will do it to themselves. A lot of this stuff we're talking about now is with, Kyrie and the Hebrew Israelites and the tribe of Judah and all this stuff. But I'm going to say this again, that the chosen people choose God. The chosen people choose God. So in other words, your DNA isn't a qualifier. Many black folks say they're the chosen people, but to be chosen comes with a responsibility. So if you're truly the chosen people, then it's your job to lead the world. That's not what I see. I really see a lot of, I want to be better than white people, because the measuring stick in front of black people is white people. It's not Jewish people, because black folks are scared of Jewish people. It's white people. White people are the measuring stick. Someone said it when Jason Whitlock, had Kyrie or Kanye been talking about white people, there would have been no problem. Had Kanye and Kyrie said, we are better than white people, there would have been no issue. No issue. So that lets you know that there's a difference between somebody white and somebody white and Jewish. There's a huge difference. I can get on my platform now and talk bad about white folks and get a standing ovation. But that's because that's part of the system. That's a part of the system. I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow. I might talk about this whole reparations thing, and how reparations is just a joke. It's just a joke. They recently had some reparations rally. Black folks always having something. Thank you, Sneakerhead, for the badge. Black folks always having something that don't mean anything. A march, a rally, a protest, a riot. Like everything that black folks do is a show of solidarity or aggression is meaningless. It's all for show. It's theatrics. What's up, Idris? But anyway, right. Sonius, right. If a group is the chosen people, then they don't have to choose. And so what you find is the black vote is a cowardly move. And I'm gonna tell you why. Thank you, B Made Fit. I'm gonna tell you why the black vote is a cowardly gesture. The black vote is a way to say I did something, right? I contributed. But it's a joke because black people vote almost 100% Democratic. So your vote is actually going to your destruction. So how is the black vote good if the black vote is primarily given to its own destruction? It's foolish. The black vote is actually wicked and demonic and evil. It's cowardly. And I say that because black people don't vote based on policy. Black people don't vote to make the situation better. Black people vote to say, I did something. Now I can now I can throw my hands back and, like Sonia said, and not choose. That's what the black vote is. The black vote is an excuse not to do anything. When everybody knows good and well, the black vote has destroyed black people. Think about it. Since black folks have had the right to vote, it's gotten progressively worse for black people. How is that? How is that even possible? And they keep telling you that it's racism, but how is it racism if black folks are ones casting the votes? All the propaganda out there to vote is not to vote Republican. All the propaganda out there to vote is not to vote Republican. There's no mass media campaigns for the Republican vote. There's no mass media campaign for conservatives. There's a mass media campaign for Democrats and liberals. Let's be honest. Thank you, Kenya. You know, I wore this shirt because this is education, not what they're saying on or what you get in school. This is education because what I'm telling you all today, they will not teach in school. Thank you, Real Talk, Nikki. This is education right here. But the black vote is a cowardly move because if black people really cared, they would withhold the vote and make demands. The fact that black folks don't make demands lets you know that the black vote is a cowardly move. Thank you, Patrina John. I voted. Get out there and vote. That's the easy way. Get out there and vote. We got to get reparations. All this talk about reparations, I'm going to get into it, though. Thank you for the badge. Mobo said dope. I'm going to get into it, but put your thinking caps on for 1 second. The United Nations represents, the UN represents all the nations in the world. Just think for a second. The United Nations recognizes all the nations in the world. They have all those flags flying. So if I ask you at the UN, where is the flag for black people? You see, the media is telling you that you're not American, and the Africans are telling you you're not African. So my question is, if you're not American, you're not African, then what are you? What you've done is you created a situation where you don't exist. You don't exist. You're asking for reparations and you don't even exist. The UN says that every person has a right to a nationality and every person has the right to choose a nationality. In fact, it says every human being. Every human being has the right to have a nationality and has the right to choose a nationality. So that means a part of you being a human being is having a nationality. So when it comes on a global scale to be recognized, Black is not recognized anywhere. Nowhere is it recognized. You can go to another country, there's no Black embassy. When you leave America, you become an American because your passport says that you are American. There is nothing that supports being Black because being Black is an ideology. It's a thought. It's a program. It's a means to be. It's not an actual person. It's not a human being. That is a Black person. That is a Black suspect. That is a Black male. That is a Black mother. That is so. If you notice, they keep throwing this Black in front of the person. Once they put the color in front of the person, it diminishes the person. Otherwise, it would be a man from Algeria, a woman from Panama. That's something different. They're saying that's a Black woman. That's already something that's set apart from humanity. So now you all think that you can ask for reparations and you're not even seen as a human being. But guess what? You can be American, but you don't want to. You can look at it two ways. You can say, well, if we were already here, and this is our land, and I am American, or you could say, my ancestors built this country, so it's still my land. Either way, you don't have an excuse not to be an American. You could take either argument. You don't have an excuse not to be American. And so this whole reparations, this whole voting, it's all a joke. It's a smokescreen. Folks been asking for reparations for the past 100 years. Black folks been voting for over 100 years, and they still complaining. So clearly, nothing's getting done. But I'm going to say this, though. Black people are not getting played. Black people are not getting, let me be clear. Black people are not getting played. Black people don't want to do what is most difficult, and that is exercise character as a culture. That means holding each other accountable. That means not idol worshiping. That means to stop supporting things that are destructive. That means if you're going to vote, have some demands. That means you're going to vote, care about the policies. These are all things that Black folks don't want to do. So this whole Black unity thing will never happen. It's not meant to. You are programmed to be Black. Well, some folks might say, well, what about the white program to be white? There is no white program. You know why? Because white people want to be American. You ain't got a program then. You just got to change America. You see, with white people, white folks want to be American. So you can't trick them with ideology. You got to change America. That's why they're fighting so hard to change America. The white ideology is America and freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Paul Revere on that horse, the British are coming, the British are coming. That's white ideology. You can't change that. What you got to do is you got to change the country. You got to flood the school with the trans. You got to come out with the snake bite mandate. You got to do all this crazy stuff. Put all this propaganda out. That's what you got to, because you can't change that mindset. But the Black mindset is not, this is my land, this is your land. That ain't the Black mind. The Black mindset isn't, this is my country. That's not the Black mind. The Black mindset is, I'm a victim. I'm oppressed. I was a slave. Even when it comes to Kyrie Irving, why is it that when Kyrie Irving and Kanye West are being challenged by Jews in power, all of a sudden now it's butt breaking? Why is Kanye and Kyrie automatically put in the slave category? Isn't that funny how anytime Black folks get challenged by white people in power or Jewish people in power, all of a sudden now they become slaves again. They getting buck broke. They getting whipped. They getting lashed. They getting 100 lashes for misbehaving. Why do black people put themselves in a slave position when they're challenged by whites in power and Jewish people in power? I'll tell you, because they know what it means to fight back. But if I'm a slave, nobody will criticize me for not fighting back. I pray to God that they give black folks reparations. I do. I pray to God they give black folks reparations and they make black folks sign that piece of paper and say, no more complaining. I can't wait. You're going to be shocked at how many black folks are not going to want to take that money because they don't want to sign that contract. You're going to be flabbergasted. All them folks paying out reparations, complaining and crying, will not want to sign that contract. No more complaining. Get in line with everybody else. There's the old saying, go get it how you live. But every time a celebrity gets challenged by a white person in power or a Jewish person in power, all of a sudden now they're slaves. But when they're not getting challenged, they're kings and queens. All of this stuff is BS. It's smoke and mirrors. It's not real. These folks just had a reparations rally. Did they have a mascot doing flips? Did they have a band? What happened at a reparations rally? Absolutely nothing. You can't go to the UN. You got to appeal to United Nations reparations. And then the bigger question is, who do you get it from? Because the United States didn't make slaves. The United States bought slaves. So when they went to Africa, they were already slaves they bought. They didn't buy free people. They didn't capture nobody. They bought the slaves to America. So the question is, who do you get reparations from? Well, America did make, no, they didn't. If I buy you as property, you have children, those are my property too. So America bought slaves from Africa. They didn't make slaves. So my question is, who you gonna get the money from? Because Africa already said no. Africa ain't gonna do it. So you forget, and America ain't gonna do it either because y'all black. Where is the reparations money coming from? Where is the reparations money coming from? Africa said no, and in America, you saying you black. So when you go to the UN and they're gonna ask you, what country do you represent? What are y'all gonna say? Because y'all hate America. So what country are you gonna say you represent when the UN is speaking to you? Because they're gonna ask you. If you notice, everybody up in the UN has their country in front of them. Y'all don't want to be American, so what country's gonna be in front of there? Oh, let me guess. Y'all gonna be militant. Y'all gonna put the black communist fist up there. Who y'all gonna have? Y'all gonna let BLM represent y'all? Oh, let me get it. Y'all gonna have George Soros, BLM, and Kamala and Joe Biden speak at the UN on behalf of black folks. That's what y'all gonna do? It's foolish. All of it smoke and mirrors. All of it smoke and mirrors. It's not real. There is nothing on this planet that supports you being black. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. So when you go to the UN asking for reparations, they're going to tell you, no, we don't recognize you. Period. Period. Somebody said country X. They will have black folks. Y'all gonna let Tariq Nasheed speak at the UN on behalf of black people? Are y'all gonna let Tariq Nasheed speak on behalf of black folks at the UN? Please tell me that ain't the plan. And like MB4 said, he gonna have country X trying to think he doing something and get escorted out there by by security. History too, because he gonna make history. He gonna be the first person ever escorted out of the UN Assembly 4 by security. I know. I'm selling out. I'm a coon. I'm a bootlicker. All this, but I know one thing: y'all ain't getting that check. I can bet y'all that. I can be all the names in the book, but y'all ain't getting that check. And when you go to the UN to ask for that money, they're gonna tell you no. But you know what's even before I get started? Let me say one more thing, and I'm gonna get started. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to vent. I'm sorry. One more thing. You know these folks don't believe America's really racist. You know how you know? If these folks believe America's really racist, they would never ask for reparations. Think about it. If America's truly racist, they will never give you reparations. So the fact you're asking for it disproves your point. You're only asking because you believe they're going to give it to you. So if they're going to give it to you, they're not racist. Listen, this whole thing is smoke and mirrors. But let me get started. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to vent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. A lot of folks watch my page, and they have certain views about me, but they'll never say I'm lying. They might not like what I'm saying. It might make them feel uncomfortable, but ain't nobody gonna dare open their mouth and say I'm lying. Nobody. Because they know if they say I'm lying and they can't prove it, I'm gonna rain down fire and brimstone. I'm gonna treat them like God did Sodom and Gomorrah. But so we left off last time. I want to play this clip of where we left off when we talked about what is causing the maternal mortality rate to be higher among Black women than white women. We're going to go over what the NIH said. Again, the NIH is ran by Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci said, trust the science. So this is what Dr. Fauci and them said. So y'all trusted them to get to that snake bite. Now trust them on this too. Here we go. Now, you just heard the doctor, and she stated that in 3 countries where abortion was illegal, there was 0 mortality rate among women giving birth. That is quite telling. But don't take her word for it, and don't take my word for it. Let's see what the NIH has to say about it. You know, that place ran by Dr. Fauci. Legal induced abortion is a root cause of the racial and ethnic disparity noted in maternal mortality. In the United States, the death rate of legal induced abortion performed at 18 weeks gestation is more than double that observed for women experiencing vaginal delivery. Wait a minute. I need you all to process what I just read. I'll be back in 1 minute. Do you understand what you just read? What you just read comes directly from the NIH, the National Institute of Health, the place ran by our beloved Dr. Fauci, the same person that said, trust the science. And this is what the science says. The science says that the difference between white women and Black women when it comes to maternal mortality rate is abortion. Stacey Abrams is saying that if you have more abortions, it will decrease your chances of dying while giving birth. That is a lie. It is literally the opposite of what the science says. And I have a tough time believing that Stacey Abrams doesn't know this. Stacey Abrams is a lawyer. She is well educated. She is well informed. She does research for a living. This is what she does. Her job is to find out the facts and argue them in a courtroom. She knows what's going on. So I find it very hard to believe that what she's doing is not intentional. Again, so to recap the first half, we found that the maternal mortality rate is higher among Black women because Black women have the most abortions. Stacey Abrams has also said that Brian Kemp didn't do anything about Medicaid for pregnant women. That was a lie. So we've already caught Stacey Abrams in about 6 lies already. And this is just one portion. I haven't gotten to the other stuff. I mean, we didn't even get to, it's like 8 more segments of what she's lying on. She's lying about everything. And it's just sad because Black people are voting for her. And if I say something to Black people, they're not going to care. This is why I don't listen to racism. I'm not white. So if I come to you and tell you this is what's going on and you shun me, it's not about racism then. It's about decadence. It's about a cultural lack of character. Period. And it's sad because what she represents is Black culture. Black people don't care about policy. Black people don't care about results. Black folks don't care about anything but just casting that vote to get that pressure off of them. I did my part. Now let's go to part 2. We got Brian Kemp doing something about Medicaid. Play this real quick. And then after she gives birth.
Here today, along with our partners again in the medical field, the private sector, and our local communities.
And there it is. Governor Kemp, barely in office, decides to address the maternal mortality rate in Georgia. He decides to extend Medicaid from 60 days to 6 months for women's postpartum period. That is, after she gives birth. Now ask yourselves a question. Why would Stacey Abrams lie on Governor Kemp? You mean to tell me Stacey Abrams would lie about abortion and then turn around and lie on a person trying to fix the mess that she made? This is crazy. You know, I got to thinking, for Stacey Abrams to be going this hard for abortion, it almost seems like she's working for Planned Parenthood. And then I saw this.
Planned Parenthood is redefining its...
So now we fast forward, and we also established that if Stacey Abrams knows that abortions increase a woman's maternal mortality rate, then her encouraging abortion is literally encouraging death to her people. Now, many folks don't care about what I'm saying, but in the future, this is going to be a big problem because the maternal rights are going to be taken from the women. This is what all this is about, and given to the trans community. So I'm telling you all now to let you know what the future holds. And then, again, like always, history has shown us this, that by the time people wake up, it's going to be too late. And it's just it, and that's all. Thanks for the badge, Michaela. Who was funding her campaign? We are about to find out. You know these Black Democrats are funded by all these wicked and evil elite people, right? You know that, right? You know that the same system they're fighting against is the same one that's funding them. All these Black folks fighting the system through politics are being funded by the very system. It's just funny to me. But let's continue.
Planned Parenthood is redefining its description of a fetal heartbeat on its website after Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams' claim. Now, Planned Parenthood scrubbing mentions of a fetal heartbeat from its site, instead writing that at 6 weeks gestation, quote, a part of the embryo starts to show cardiac activity. It sounds like a heartbeat on an ultrasound, but it's not a fully formed heart. It's the earliest stage of the heart developing.
During fertilization, the sperm joins with the...
Now, hold on. Now, why would Planned Parenthood change their definition based on what Stacey Abrams said? Why would Planned Parenthood go in there and change their definition to match what Stacey Abrams said? Just think about this now. Stacey Abrams said it's not a real heartbeat, it's manufactured. So why would Planned Parenthood do anything? If Stacey Abrams is separate from Planned Parenthood, then they shouldn't have changed nothing. They shouldn't even have cared. why would Planned Parenthood care so much about what she said to the point where they would change the definition? Now, I'm pretty sure that Planned Parenthood has a whole bunch of doctors and scientists, all these folks, and they never thought to change the definition before. All these masterminds of Planned Parenthood, all these intelligent people, all these educated people at Planned Parenthood never thought to change that definition. They only thought to change it when Stacey Abrams was at a college full of men at Morehouse. She's at an all-male college telling them it's not a real heartbeat. And the racist white people are telling you that because they want you to have rights over a woman's body. It didn't even make any sense. But what I realize is that when you're a black Democrat, you don't have to make sense. You don't have to be honest. You don't have to be forthright. You have to get it like when you're a black Democrat, there is zero standards because black culture also supports the Democratic Party. So there's no standard in black culture. There's no standard with a black Democrat. Same thing. So Stacey Abrams got on the stage and said, it's a manufactured heartbeat. It's not real. It's fake. And it's done to get men to have rights of a woman's body. It don't even make, it was so ridiculous, but guess what? Nobody black cared. So again, this is not about race. It's not. It's about culture. And the problem is black folks have created a culture that is going to lead them to death, destruction, and damnation permanently, not just symptoms. Play this video. What's up, Kamir? And what's up, Nava?
Egg to form one cell.
Description of a fetal heartbeat on its website after Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams' Lyin. Now, Planned Parenthood scrubbing mentions of a fetal heartbeat from its site, instead writing that at 6 weeks gestation, quote, a part of the embryo starts to show cardiac activity. It sounds like a heartbeat on an ultrasound, but it's not a fully formed heart. It's the earliest stage of the heart developing.
During fertilization, the sperm joins with the egg to form one cell. This single cell has its own DNA, the complex genetic makeup for every detail of a new human being. After fertilization, nothing new is added but oxygen, nutrition, and time. During the first month, foundations of the brain, spinal cord, and nervous system are already established, and by day 21, the heart begins to beat in a regular fashion. During the second month, the baby
by day 21, the heart begins to beat in a regular fashion. So again, Stacey Abrams lied. What I find so fascinating is that we don't think that lying is bad. This is a cultural problem. We don't think somebody telling us a lie is bad. I don't know how we got like this. I got somebody on here right now defending Planned Parenthood. I got a black person on this thing right now defending Planned Parenthood. The same Planned Parenthood started by a racist, a eugenicist, and this person is defending racism. But I'm the problem. Do you understand how crazy this is, you guys? Do you understand how crazy it is to defend something that literally believes in the genocide of your people, but then get mad at me for pointing out they want to kill your people? It's insanity. But it lets me know we're in the last days. That's all. We're in the last days. We're in the last days. That's all. We're in the last days. Oh, you know who it is, Katie. It's the same guy. He's a liberal, like a liberal spy. I don't know what they call him, man. A little henchman, a little minion. I don't know. But you heard 21 days and a fully developed heartbeat. Now, I was reading a book today and I saw this. Oh, I didn't turn around. I wanted to show it. Oh, here it goes. And this guy, I forgot the author's name, but I was reading this book, and he even says, at 6 weeks old, a 6-week-old human embryo, it is about the size of a lentil, and its heart is beating at 100 beats per minute. So even this guy, 2019, said like it was nothing. Like this man wrote this, and it was never a problem. This is 3 years old. A 6-week-old human embryo. It is about the size of a lentil, and its heart is beating at 100 beats per minute. Now, the crazy thing is, the child having a heartbeat at 6 weeks has always been a phenomenon. It's always been like a marvel of how fast the baby develops. Like it's always been something that we used to say that look how great God's design is. Now you got these folks coming along saying, oh, it's not a heartbeat. That's Satan. God's design is for the baby's heart to beat at 6 weeks. God's design is for the baby's heart to beat at 6 weeks. So anybody coming saying it's not is Satan. Who would call God a lie but the devil? Okay. Patrina, you know and I know that it is a cultural issue. It is a cultural lack of character. Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That should have been at least offensive. It wasn't. I had black folks telling me he's right. So I digress. Let's continue.
Begins to swallow and sometimes hiccups. Fingers and toes are complex genetic makeup for every detail of a new human being. After fertilization, nothing new is added but oxygen, nutrition, and time. During the first month, foundations of the brain, spinal cord, and nervous system are already established, and by day 21, the heart begins to beat in a regular fashion. During the second month, the baby begins to swallow and sometimes hiccups. Fingers and toes are developing, and at 7 weeks, the chest and abdomen are fully formed. Unique fingerprints are evident and never change. The baby now sleeps, wakes, and exercises her muscles. By the end of the month, all the organs and systems of her body are fully functioning. By the end of the 4th month, the baby is 8 to 10 inches long and weighs about 1/2 pound. She can hear her mother's heartbeat as well as external noises like music. In the 5th month, sound is especially loud. The baby may jump in reaction to it. She is growing rapidly in size and strength while her lungs become more developed. The baby can now recognize her mother's voice. She stretches and kicks, she can hear, touch, and taste, and even look around with open eyes. The baby's kicks are stronger, and mom may be able to feel an elbow or heel against her abdomen. Gaining 1/2 pound per week, the baby is getting ready for birth. The bones in her head are soft and flexible to more easily mold for the journey down the birth canal. Of the 45 generations of cell divisions before adulthood, 41 have already taken place. 90% of a person's development happens in the womb.
That all skin folk ain't be going this hard for a boy.
She can hear her mother's heartbeat as well as by the end of the month, all the organs and systems of her. During the first month, foundations.
And I want to highlight this section because this part of the video shows how wonderful God's design is. How this baby is developing in the womb, and it's actually miraculous to know that in a short amount of time, the baby has a heartbeat, organs, chest, fingerprints, like being able to be identified. And so it's actually beautiful if you watch the baby developing and how fast the baby is developing. But these people like Stacey Abrams are saying it's not a baby. It's a clump of cells. It's not real. But again, this is a spiritual battle that we're in. It's a spiritual. These people want black people to cease to exist. Stacey Abrams wants black people to be erased. She doesn't care about birth. She doesn't care about procreation. But these women are going to be the victims of listening to a person they trust. And they only trust her because she looks like them. And so I saw this as being very pivotal because it just lets you know what is actually going on inside the womb. Life starts to happen immediately. This is a big deal. This is God's design at play. This is what two people came together and created. So imagine what all this leads to. They're talking about getting rid of the family, getting rid of man and woman contact, sexually, getting rid of everything. They want trans humans and transgenders. That's their goal. They don't care about humanity. They don't care about you or I. That's right, Shantae. We should be offended. This is egregious. Now you see why they're telling you that a man can be a woman. Because in the Bible, God talks to Eve. He didn't talk to Adam. He talked to Eve. He talked to Eve about what was going to happen in the future. Your seed is going to bruise his heel on the serpent's head. This is how important women are. This is why they want to get rid of women. This is all a design. This is all Satan. And anybody supporting this stuff is working for Satan. Black women have the most abortions on the entire planet, not just America. We're talking about 7% of the population accounting for almost 40% of the abort. We're talking about 1,000 abortions a day. Do you understand how insane that is? And nobody is outraged at 1,000 abortions a day. We're talking about over 20 million babies aborted since 1973. Black babies. There's been 60 million abortions total. There's been 60 million abortions total in the U.S. And out of that 60 million, 7% of them accounted for over a third. And nobody's upset about that. Not even ashamed about that. Not even angry about this. Crazy. We're talking about genocide. And I got somebody on here defending all of it. Literally, because they don't like what I'm saying, they want to defend Satan. But guess what, you all? We saw this for the past 2 years. We saw the folks that look just like you and I trying to get us to get that snake bite. We saw it. We saw family members. We saw friends. We saw everybody reveal their ugly nature behind something that came from Satan. We saw it. So somebody said earlier that the votes don't matter, but the votes do matter because Black people aren't going against this. So whether you vote or not, you're not speaking out against what's going on. It's the same thing. Natural law says that silence is consent. So if you don't speak out against these travesties, you're consenting to them. If everybody spoke out, they have to stop. But because y'all remain silent and say things like, two wings of the same bird, votes don't count, this stuff keeps continuing. Be brave, be bold, have courage, and say, this is wrong, period. I ain't got the vote to say this is wrong. You can still say it's wrong. Open your mouth and say, this is not right. What they're doing is not right. Right, Shantae. Let's continue again. Let's watch this baby develop again.
Of the brain, spinal cord, and nervous system are already established, and by day 21, the heart begins to beat in a regular fashion. During the second month, the baby begins to swallow and sometimes hiccups. Fingers and toes are developing, and at 7 weeks, the chest and abdomen are fully formed. Unique fingerprints are evident and never change. The baby now sleeps, wakes, and exercises her muscles. By the end of the month, all the organs and systems of her body are fully functioning. By the end of the 4th month, the baby is 8 to 10 inches long and weighs about 1/2 pound. She can hear her mother's heartbeat as well as external noises like music. In the 5th month, sound is especially loud. The baby may jump in reaction to it. She is growing rapidly in size and strength while her lungs become more developed.
So Georgia had the abortion limit at 5 months, and you can see why. Because at 5 months, the child can hear, the child is moving, responding, so the child is fully aware of what's going on at 5 months. So that's where Georgia cut the abortions off. Stacey Abrams said, no, I'm going to tie it up in court so that women can have full-term abortions. Stacey Abrams' goal is full-term abortions because they want you all to sacrifice your children. This is what they want. This is what they want. There's a whole thing going around about the chosen people. The chosen people choose God. And once you choose God, you have a responsibility to represent God on the earth. Leading the nation in abortion, leading the world in abortion is not representing God. Defending abortion, defending Planned Parenthood is not representing God. What would God say about abortion? Remember, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus say about abortion? But you notice, you all think about this now. If this man really thought I wasn't telling the truth, he wouldn't be here. But this is the problem with Black culture, is that it's built on being double-minded. So the problem is he know I'm telling the truth, but he doesn't like it. So now his consciousness is conflicting with his feelings. This is the plight of most men in our community. Arrested development, they don't want to grow up. Most Black men don't want to grow up. He doesn't want to make a decision that may make him seem a certain way in front of people. When a man doesn't want to grow up, what's up, Keisha? When a man doesn't want to grow up, he's automatically a coward because a man wants to stay a boy to avoid the consequence of being an adult. So if a man doesn't want to grow up, he's automatically a coward. When a man is fighting to stay like a child, he's automatically a coward. This is why most of these Black men when you hear him listen to him talk, is a bunch of excuses. It's a bunch of excuses. It's what they did, what she did, what you rarely hear a man from the Black community say, you know what, it's my fault. You know what, I'm gonna make it better. You got a bunch of Black men out there fighting to remain a child, remain a boy. Because the responsibility of being a man requires them not have any excuses. So you got to make a choice as a man. Either I'm gonna live off excuses, or I'm gonna live off my convictions. Which one? Excuses or conviction? Excuses, principle. Excuses, character. Excuses, courage. Excuses, honor. All those things are tough for a man that's afraid. These Black men that are Democrats, they are afraid and terrified to really be a man. And when I say really be a man, I mean really stand on your own 2 feet and just trust God. Say that the chips fall as they may. I made you a moderator, Michaela. I made you a moderator, Michaela. So, but my point is that these men, and I talk to a lot of them, they're already defeated. They might have a wife, children, pay bill, but they're, as a man though, they're already defeated. You see, you can get a job, you can have a career, you have a wife and some children. That don't make you a man though, because a man is defined by his relationship with God, not by what he can accomplish. What's a relationship like with God? That lets me know whether he's a real man or not. So most of these guys have a very poor relationship with God. It's very poor. Because I know if they ever spoke to God, God would tell them, get off your back, dust yourself off, and be a man. Have some courage and conviction. But let's continue.
baby can now recognize her mother's voice. She stretches and kicks, she can hear, touch, and taste, and even look around with open eyes. The baby's kicks are stronger, and Mom may be able to feel an elbow or heel against her abdomen. Gaining 1/2 pound per week, the baby is getting ready for birth. The bones in her head are soft and flexible to more easily mold for the journey down the birth canal. Of the 45 generations of cell divisions before adulthood, 41 have already taken place. 90% of a person's development happens in the womb.
Now, why in the world would Planned? Hold on. You heard what she said? She said 90% of a person's development happens in the womb. Think about how powerful that is. That means 90% of who we are happens before we actually come out of our mother's womb. This is how important birth is. This is like God's design. We just watched it. God's design playing out in front of our eyes in 9 months. So much to the point where within those 9 months, 90% of who we are is in the womb. That's almost 100%. So that look how honorable God is. God is saying, I'm gonna get y'all almost all the way to the finish line. When you come out the womb, all y'all gotta do is 10%. When you come out the womb, all you gotta do is just 10%. That's it. I never looked at abortion like I do now until I found out it was 1,000 abortions a day. That just did something to me. I said, wait a minute. This sounds like something else. That's beyond a choice. That's beyond inconvenience. That's genocide. Let's continue. Parenthood changed their definition to make what Stacey Abrams said not seem so crazy about them having a manufactured heartbeat. Think about what Planned Parenthood is doing for Stacey Abrams. Who is she? The new Margaret Sanger? With all of this going on, I said somebody has to be getting paid. So I decided to look into it and follow the money. Now think about this. Why would Planned Parenthood change the definition for Stacey Abrams? Who is she? The new Margaret Sanger? I started thinking, and you know what I came up with? Somebody has to be paying Stacey Abrams. She has to be getting paid by Planned Parenthood. And you know what? I was right. She is getting paid by Planned Parenthood. We see $8,000 in the form of 2 payments. And that's just what I saw. I guarantee if I really did some more digging, I'd probably come up with the treasure chest of abortion funds being given to Stacey Abrams. But I got to thinking some more. And I thought about, well, what about her partner in crime? Because he's also very pro-abortion. You know who he is, the good old Reverend Raphael Warnock. I looked into it, and guess what? Warnock is being paid as well. As you can see, Warnock is being paid from the National Abortion Rights, the Action League, and Planned Parenthood for a grand total of $77,319.79. That's somebody's salary. So we have 2 people in Georgia that are being funded by Planned Parenthood, and these 2 people want to lead you into the promised land.
So, Ms. Abrams, back to the root of Joe's question.
So as you can see, she's getting paid from Planned Parenthood, and that's just 2 payments we found. She's getting paid from Planned Parenthood, and so is Raphael Warnock. Now you got a pastor getting paid to tell women to abort their babies, and you have a woman being paid to the women to abort their babies, and she don't want children. So as you can see, there's a conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest for you all to be getting paid from Planned Parenthood as you're promoting abortion. So think about think about it. They're promoting abortion because there's an incentive behind it, on top of the wicked and evil demonic agenda that's behind it as well. And like someone just said on here about 10 minutes ago, the baby having a heartbeat at 6 weeks was never an issue. It only became an issue when Stacey Abrams said it was fake. But let's go back. Yeah, Shantae, I wish our community would wake up too, but the problem is, to wake up is going to take character. You got to have character to wake up. This is not an intelligence issue. It's not an information issue. It's a character issue. It's a character. People look for a way to justify doing wrong. So they got to justify voting for Stacey Abrams. So what black folks did was, black folks made racism the ultimate sin. So if someone was racist, then we can choose whatever we wanted to choose after that. That's why they said Trump racist, Trump racist, Trump racist. Okay, now we can pick our demise because he's racist. The worst thing black folks ever did was make racism the worst sin. Because it's not. Because most folks ain't racist. They don't have the power to be racist. It's spiritual. And black folks are fighting a spiritual battle with the flesh, and they're losing miserably every single time. Let's continue. $319
daily, which is the level.
So we have 2 people in Georgia that are being funded by Planned Parenthood, and these 2 people want to lead you into the promised land.
So, Ms. Abrams, back to the root of Joe's question that he just asked you. You're running for governor of Georgia. I would assume, maybe incorrectly, but while abortion is an issue, it nowhere reaches the level of interest of voters in terms of the cost of gas, food, bread, milk, things like that. What could you do as governor to alleviate the concerns of Georgia voters about those livability, daily, hourly issues that they're confronted with?
But let's be clear. Having children is why you're worried about your price for gas. It's why you're concerned about how much food costs. For women, this is not a reductive issue. You can't divorce being forced to carry an unwanted pregnancy from the economic realities of having a child. And so it's important for us to have both and conversations. We don't have the luxury of reducing it or separating them out, but we also have to talk about what a governor can do. A governor can address housing prices. A governor can address the cost of education. A governor can put money into the pockets of everyday hardworking Georgians instead of giving tax cuts to the wealthy. That's what I talk about on the trail, and that's what's resonating. But let's not pretend that women, half the population, especially those of childbearing age, they understand that having a child is absolutely an economic issue. It is only politicians who see it as simply another cultural conversation. It is a.
So as you see her talking about, now we just watched God in action and the baby forming in the womb. We just saw God's wonderful works as the baby is forming in the womb. She done reduced the baby to a decision. Think about all that you saw God just do. She's just saying it's a tough decision for a woman. Forget the heartbeat, forget the fingerprints, forget the baby hearing the mother's voice, forget all that stuff. Forget all that. Forget it. It's a decision. It's a tough one. So abort your baby to fight inflation. Abort your baby to fight inflation. And the sad thing is that Black women are not upset about, there should be millions of women protesting against Stacey Abrams, millions, and men too. The greatest rift between Black men and Black women is being conservative and being liberal. Stacey Abrams knows this. All these politicians know that black men are more conservative. Everybody knows this. And everybody also knows that black women are not. Most aren't. So all of the politics is geared towards black women. It's not geared towards black men because most black men are conservative. So to me, the biggest rift in, I guess, the black family, black love is values. I'll be right back, y'all. Hold on one second. I gotta fix this. Sorry, real. Okay, can y'all hear me? Hold on one second. Everyone has prejudices. Everyone has biases. Listen, man, this is part of human nature. People like what they like. You know, people. Some men like skinny girls. Some men like big girls. Some men like anorexic girls. Some men like, everybody got their own preference. Some men like light skin. Some men like dark skin. Everybody got their own preference. A person's preference shouldn't offend anyone. We shouldn't be offended by that. We're taking a person's preference and making it like it's racial, and it's not. Yes, Stacey Abrams supports children changing their gender. She supports the medicine. She supports the surgery. Stacey Abrams supports all the liberal agendas. So if you find liberal agenda, she supports it. She's being funded by the people in California and New York and the White House. Everybody's putting their money into her because this is the future. This is the future of politics. This is the future of leadership. It's going to be trans and it's going to be black women. And y'all talk about oppression. Y'all ain't seen nothing like. Imagine if Stacey Abrams was president right now. Imagine if she was president. Oh my goodness. Could y'all imagine? Somebody said there was a huge sign by my house in Northwest Oklahoma City with a black girl that said, I can't afford school. You know what else you can't afford? A baby. It was a Planned Parenthood up for years, right? So if you can't afford school, then don't have a child. If you can't afford school, then don't have sex. Women can get pregnant a certain time of the month. So that means y'all going out of your way to get pregnant. You can only get pregnant during this window. When you're ovulating, you don't ovulate the whole month. So that means women are getting pregnant on purpose. I know women, they got the whole calendar set up, all that. Come on, man. They getting dings on their phone. Women getting dings on their calendar of when they can have a baby, when they can't. You know it's true because when they want to have a baby, all of a sudden then they know when to have sex. We got to have sex between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. It's just funny how when women want to get pregnant, it's down to a science. But when they don't want to get pregnant, everything is in the air and blowing in the wind. No. Women know good and well when they can get pregnant. And you know good and well, if y'all having sex during your ovulation time, you have a great chance of getting pregnant. And most of these dudes' pull-out game is probably super weak anyway. So you know if he in there, he ain't going to come out. Right, Kareem and Brittany. If Stacey Abrams was president, it literally would be the gates of hell literally be open. Literally.
A real biological and economic imperative conversation that women need to have.
So now that we've seen Planned Parenthood financially support a woman that would promote genocide among the women of her community, and also a pastor that would do the same, let's see what Planned Parenthood's true intentions are.
boyfriend the other day. And
The woman speaking is posing as a 15-year-old seeking sex advice at the Planned Parenthood in Littleton.
He mentioned that book, 50 Shades of Grey.
The staff member explains what happens in that very adult book.
Like tying up and gagging involved.
And then,
Have you guys ever went to a sex shop together?
No.
Okay,
What
so
is
you
that?
There's tons of sex shops around here.
the worker even encourages watching pornography.
And then do some research online, like maybe watch porn or something.
Yep, and you guys can do that together. You can do it on your own.
And a similar tone at the Lakewood Planned Parenthood.
Handcuffs, more of a combination between pleasure and pain. Figure out a safe word.
A Catholic news outlet reports that Attorney General John Suthers is now investigating.
Now your child is going to. Okay, so I'm gonna just recap. Basically, a young girl was posing as a young girl at Planned Parenthood. Now, one of the guys over here earlier mentioned. And I see the guy is back, but the guy that I'm talking about is back. He mentioned that Planned Parenthood does other things. He was right, they do. So the girl went undercover in the Planned Parenthood, and they were trying to encourage her to have sex. Now, why would Planned Parenthood encourage young girls to have sex, to have freaky sex? Why do you all think? Why do you all think Planned Parenthood would be so ridiculous and so disgusting as to tell a young child ways to have sex? Why would Planned Parenthood want young girls to have sex? What's up, Patty? Hold on. Okay, thank you. They use the fetuses and the baby. I'm gonna let the video play. Let's let it play. Planned Parenthood to get
Porn or something.
Yep, and you guys can do that together. You can do it on your own.
And a similar tone at the Lakewood Planned Parenthood.
Handcuffs, more of a combination between pleasure and pain. Figure out a safe word.
A Catholic news outlet reports that Attorney General John Suthers is now investigating.
Now your child is going to Planned Parenthood to get, as Stacey Abrams calls it, medical advice from professionals. So why would the medical professionals at Planned Parenthood be encouraging young girls to have freaky sex? Let's take a look at this next video.
If we could provide
the latest video in a sustained effort to undermine support for Planned Parenthood reprises the dramatic effects that have helped the Center for Medical Progress stoke the growing controversy. Edited undercover video with a Planned Parenthood research director in Texas talking about extracting intact fetus cadavers and body parts from abortions for use in fetal tissue research.
So that anything that we integrate into that procedure without having you cover the procedural cost is going to be higher, right? So anything about higher gestational age, there's more opportunity for complications.
Interspersed with talk about budgets and money.
If we alter our process and we are able to obtain intact fetal cadavers, then we can make it part of the budget that any dissections are this, and splitting the specimens into different shipments is this. I mean, it's all just a matter of line items.
The end of the video includes graphic pictures of what is described as fetal tissue with the voices of the actors who posed as representatives of a company that collects tissue samples, asking questions and identifying body parts with Planned Parenthood lab technicians. Today, even before it was released, the leader of the group responsible for the video predicted it would have more impact than the other productions.
It's perhaps going to be even more shocking. You're going to see evidence in it of how Planned Parenthood is actually willing to sell fully intact fetuses to buyers of aborted fetal tissue.
On this vote,
Planned Parenthood, facing a sustained push in Congress to stop the group from getting government funding, is in full damage control mode.
What we're seeing here are attacks on people's ability to get health care.
Several states and
So, as you can see, Planned Parenthood's goal is they're in the business of getting that not just the fetus out, but they really want the intact baby out. And I say that because the lady said the more mature the cells, the better. But the more mature the baby, the worse it is for the woman to have it. Not to carry it, to have it. So this is all about the woman not giving birth. They don't mind you being pregnant. It's just the giving birth part. So you heard her say, we want the fully intact fetus because they don't like to break apart. Listen, I keep telling you all this. They want the baby to be sacrificed outside of the womb. I keep telling y'all this. They want the fully intact baby to come out and then the baby get killed, because you think about it, the baby is used for Satan because the baby is going into the snake bite. The organs are being sold. Don't tell them what these folks be eating these children, adrenochrome. All this stuff is done based on these children because this is Satan's number one enemy. It is the child. It ain't the woman. It ain't the man. It is the child. But the man and woman coming together produces the child. The woman not having an abortion produces a child. So what I'm saying is that Satan wants that child, but Satan just don't want the child. Satan wants the child to be sacrificed to him. Because you're also dealing with, he ain't just evil. He's a narcissist too. He's a narcissist. So he wants the child, he wants his enemy to be sacrificed to him. Again, we are in a spiritual fight. This is spiritual warfare. It's not about the flesh. So you see, Planned Parenthood is in the business of getting these babies for profit. And God knows what else. They mentioned organs. They mentioned the cells. We know they're using them for the snake bites. All this for these babies. So clearly it's not good. So clearly, if the end result of abortion is your baby going to Satan, you might want to reconsider it. You might want to reconsider it.
Including Texas, have launched police. The leader of the group responsible for the video predicted it would have more impact than the other productions.
It's perhaps going to be even more shocking. You're going to see evidence in it of how Planned Parenthood is actually willing to sell fully intact fetuses to buyers of aborted fetal tissue.
On this vote,
Planned Parenthood, facing a sustained push in Congress to stop the group from getting government funding, is in full damage control mode.
What we're seeing here are attacks on people's ability to get health care.
Several states, including Texas, have launched Planned Parenthood investigations, with the video accusing the group of offering to adjust medical procedures in order to preserve tissue and parts for research groups to purchase.
And really uncover the truth about what
prices. A governor can...
And
Government funding is in full damage control mode.
What we're seeing here are attacks on people's ability to get health care.
Several states, including Texas, have launched Planned Parenthood investigations.
Now, I want to show y'all this highlighted as these states, right? So now you know all the states that investigated Planned Parenthood are the ones saying, okay, something is being done that's wrong here. Obviously, we can all agree that if a child goes to Planned Parenthood and they tell her to have sex, that's wrong. Like, so we ain't got to argue that. So they investigated it. So you know all these states would be considered racist states. They'd be considered the red states. Look at the map. These are the racist red states. It's funny that the racist red states decided to investigate when they saw what Planned Parenthood was doing. So the racist white folks that want to come and get you thought enough about you to investigate when Planned Parenthood is selling human fetuses and telling children to have sex. They said, this is wrong. Let's investigate this. Because Planned Parenthood wants government funding, which means Planned Parenthood would be a government agency just like the CDC. Remember what I told you all. They want the birthing rights taken from women and given to the trans community. That's the ultimate goal. Let's continue.
Investigations, with the video accusing the group of offering to adjust medical procedures in order to preserve tissue and parts for research groups to purchase. There are calls for the Justice Department to investigate. Planned Parenthood asserted the footage released today doesn't show Planned Parenthood staff engaged in any wrongdoing or agreeing to violate any legal or medical standard.
Now, Planned Parenthood told a little girl to have sex, then said, we taking, so have sex, get pregnant, so we can have a baby. Once we get the baby, we're going to sell the baby to science. We're going to sell the baby to folks that want the organs, and we're going to sell the cells and everything else. Planned Parenthood said, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's hear it again. Let's hear it again. Say my word for it. Hear it one more time.
Parenthood staff engaged in any wrongdoing or asserted the footage released today doesn't show Planned Parenthood staff engaged in any wrongdoing or agreeing to violate any legal or medical standard.
In more pro-life news, new undercover.
So Planned Parenthood doesn't think it's wrong to tell these young children to have sex so they can get pregnant and have an abortion, because the majority of abortions happen at the age of 15 to, I want to say, maybe like 19. So the majority of abortions happen among teens. So their target group are the teens. Their target group is the teens. So again, Planned Parenthood is saying it's not wrong to do this. It's not wrong to get the children to have sex, much like the liberals say it's not wrong to teach your 3-year-old about sexual positions. It's the same people, the same concept. Corrupt the children. Again, this is Satan's number one enemy. This is what God told Eve. Your seed is going to be this guy's enemy for forever. Now we got some more Planned Parenthood folks.
Planned Parenthood video is released.
My biceps appreciate when the ditch works. Oh, I have to hit the gym for this.
That's a former medical director of a Planned Parenthood saying she needs to go to the gym to perform a dismemberment abortion with forceps. Dr.
Did y'all hear that? Thank you, Corey Bamsky. Y'all hit right. It's a three-headed snake. Abortion, transformers, and child sex changes. Right. This woman just said she got to go to the gym to prepare to be able to pull them babies out of the womb. If she has to go to the gym to have enough strength to pull that baby out, what is it doing to a woman's body? Let's listen again.
In more pro-life news, new undercover Planned Parenthood video is released.
My biceps appreciate when the ditch works. Oh, I have to hit the gym for this.
That's a former medical director of a Planned Parenthood saying she needs to go to the gym to perform a dismemberment abortion with forceps. Dr. Deshaun Taylor describes how to deliver babies intact during late-term abortions, allegedly in order to harvest body parts. It's the latest video released by the Center for Medical Progress. David Lyin is the man behind.
So the woman said that it takes muscle and strength to pull the baby out of the womb with forceps. All I'm telling you all is that if it takes that much force, ask yourself, what is it doing to the woman's womb? If I got to flex my muscles to pull it out, what is it doing to the woman's womb? Let's continue.
The undercover Planned Parenthood videos and project lead at the Center for Medical Progress. He joins us from our EWTN studios in Garden Grove, California. David, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me on.
David, in Arizona, it is law that if a baby that's being aborted shows signs of life, that baby must be transported to the hospital. When you asked Dr. Deshaun Taylor about that protocol, she said the key is you need to pay attention to who is in the room. You were the one in conversation with Dr. Taylor. What did you gather she meant by that?
That was one of the most disturbing comments that I have ever heard from any Planned Parenthood abortion doctor, or really any abortion doctor, in my time undercover in the abortion industry. When the law is that if a baby comes out intact in a late-term abortion, and you're supposed to check for the signs of life of the baby, whether there's a beating heart, or respiration, or pulsation of the umbilical cord, or movement of voluntary muscles, and if there's signs of life, you're supposed to do everything you can to save the baby. When I asked Dr. Taylor, this longtime Planned Parenthood abortion doctor, what her standard procedure was for verifying signs of life — this is a doctor who does abortions up to 5 and 6 months of pregnancy on healthy, viable children.
Okay, context time. Thank you for the badges. I need my $40 back. Thanks for the badge. Now, listen to what he just said. These women are performing abortions at 5 and 6 months. We've already established that at 5 months, the child can feel pain. I asked yesterday, what do you think your baby sounds like when it's screaming in the womb? So at 5 and 6, and at 6 months, the baby can come out. Because I have a family member that came out at 6 months. So they're performing abortions at 6 months where that's a child that can live. So they're also saying that if the baby comes out and survives the abortion, they want to still terminate the baby, the pregnancy. They want to kill the baby, as if it wouldn't be a miracle for the baby to be alive after that kind of procedure. Imagine a miracle where the baby comes out alive and then y'all still say we still gonna kill it. Like, imagine the baby come out alive and y'all don't say it's God. I can't believe this happened. This is a medical phenomenon. Imagine y'all seeing the baby survive the procedure and y'all saying we still got to kill it. And y'all want to convince me they ain't wicked and evil. It's evil. It's wicked. This is Stacey Abrams' whole platform, is telling women to abort their baby, knowing that the more abortions you have, the more likely you are to die giving birth. This is what the NIH says. Dr. Fauci and them said this. So Stacey Abrams is literally promoting genocide among her own people. All skin folk and kinfolk is an understatement. I keep telling y'all, when they put somebody black in front of you, they're already working for them people. Anybody out, and I know this sounds hard for y'all, it's hard for y'all to grasp. Anybody out there fighting against injustice, fighting against inequality, fighting against racism, they all working for the system, because the goal of all of that is to take away your rights. The goal of it is to take away your rights. That's it. They don't care about nothing else. They want you to be a slave to this system, literally, not figuratively, literally. This man just said they're performing abortions at 5 and 6 months. And I'm telling you, she yanking the baby. Dude, do you understand what this is doing to the woman's womb? And black women are getting this stuff done 1,000 times a day. Thank you. It's not about black and white. It's about saved and unsaved. I'm going to say it again. The chosen people choose God. When you're born again, y'all are all part of the same family. When you're born again, we all part of the same family. Being born again makes us all related. Ain't no chosen nothing. God tried to use the chosen people route, and it cost him every time. God tried to go the chosen people route. God tried. God went the chosen people route with Adam and Eve. God went the chosen Noah, Abraham, David. God went the chosen people route, and it failed every time. And them same chosen people was staring face to face with the Messiah, and they said, kill him. So God went the chosen people route. That don't work. The chosen people choose God. My sheep know my voice. So now when you're born again, ain't no more black and white. Should have never been a black church, because I never heard of a white church. Black folks say it's a white church. I ain't never heard of a white church. Black folks called the church white and black. Let's continue.
Response was, well, the key is you need to pay attention to who else is in the room with you. And that was one of about 3 times when we talked to her when she made comments about paying attention to who else was in the room or paying attention to the reactions of the other staff workers in the clinic that they might have to seeing a viable late-term fetus come out in one piece. So it's highly disturbing, and I think that that's prima facie evidence of a willingness to cover up infanticide and not to comply with the law to protect the lives of late-term, born-alive, viable infants.
So again, they're trying to get the 5-month and 6-month-old baby out intact. What is that doing to a woman's womb, her cervix? If I'm trying to get a 5-month or 6-month-old baby out intact, that means I got to open the birth canal up wide enough to get the baby out in one piece. So my question is, what is that doing to the woman? You heard the woman say, we got to alter the procedure. That's what she means. She means altering the procedure, meaning opening you up wider to get the baby out. Because they need the fetus intact. I told you all, they want the sacrifice. Let's continue.
Stuff like this. The latest sting video is also the most graphic. It shows a Planned Parenthood doctor in Colorado examining a fetus and isolating different organs.
I think the per item thing works a little better just because we can see how much we can get out of it.
Planned Parenthood is, you heard what she said. She's talking about having the baby out there intact, and they take the baby piece by piece and sell it to science or somebody. Look, you heard what she just said, right? She just said, let's listen again. Don't take my word for it. Let's go back. Because y'all going to say I said it. They're going to say I said it.
And not to comply with the law to protect the lives of late-term, born-alive, viable infants.
Stuff like this. The latest sting video is also the most graphic. It shows a Planned Parenthood doctor in Colorado examining a fetus and isolating different organs.
I think the per item thing works a little better just because we can see how much we can get out of it.
You heard what she said. We think the per item thing works better so we can see how much we're going to get out of the child. So again, take the lungs. There's a buyer for the lungs. There's a buyer for the liver. There's a buyer for the heart. There's a buyer for the bones. There's a buyer for the skin. There's a buyer for the head. There's a buyer for each part of that baby. This is Planned Parenthood now. The same person defending Planned Parenthood, the same folks in the street talking about my body, my choice, the same folks going half for all of this don't even realize they are literally fighting for Satan. Literally fighting for Satan. Somebody might say, Blanche, why are you going so hard? I'm going so hard because I don't want to see a whole group of people deceased and not here anymore. I don't want to see a group of people that are so caught up and so vain and so arrogant that they would literally cast themselves and future generations into the slaughter, into the furnace. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I'm going to say something. I don't care. Enough's enough. I'm showing y'all proof and facts that the whole thing is done by Satan. It's satanic. Let's continue. Planned Parenthood is willing to break the law to remove that baby from the womb. Doctors are willing to alter procedures. Doctors are saying they have to go to the gym to work out, to have enough strength to pull the baby out. Clearly, this can't be good for a woman's reproductive organs. Planned Parenthood cares about the baby for science and for profit. That's it. And they don't care about the woman at all. How disgusting is that? How horrible and terrible is that? We've already established that 2 millimeters, going from 9 millimeters to 11 millimeters, increases the chances of miscarriage from almost 13% to almost 67%. This is wicked, this is evil, and this is disgusting. But I want you all, I have a few comments. Deshaunay said, they make abortion easy, but adoption is hard. Brilliant comment. Exactly. Abortion can be done without your parent consent, but when it comes to adoption, they're going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. They make abortion easy, but adoption hard. So that lets you know the intent. Somebody else said that pic of Stacey Abrams is like an angry hot dog. A Philly girl said in an immigrant holding facility in Uvalde, three 12-year-old girls went to the hospital with belly aches. They were all pregnant. Investigate 3 days later, Uvalde school, we don't hear nothing about either now. You already know what it is. You already know them girls went and got it. And come on, we know what happened. Come on, man. Again, this is all, it's not just money though. What is the spiritual consequence for an abortion? And I'm really asking a question for real. What is the spiritual consequence of having an abortion? Yeah, abstinence is better, Kurt Gray. Yeah, don't have sex. If the result of sex is going to cause you to have to kill your baby, then don't have sex then. I just don't have sex. Like, I just, if you don't want to put yourself in danger driving the car, don't drink and drive. Like, it's simple. Don't drink and drive. Don't have sex. Yeah, we talk about one of the things with abortion is not only maternal mortality, but also miscarriages. Also an increased chance of miscarriages. So again, there is nothing good about abortion. There's nothing good for the woman's body about abortion. Because you think about it, there's a spiritual consequence, a psychological consequence, a physical consequence. There's nothing good about abortion. The only good thing that you can think of is that the child isn't here. But think about the absence of the child, but you're still left with the decision. Meaning that you still gave birth, but you just gave birth to torment. The child could have been joy for you, but you gave birth to torment because you're going to be thinking about it. Your spirit going to be crying about it. Your physical body's going to be affected by it. So you still gave birth. You still had the baby. It's just this baby you have is going to torture you for the rest of your life. I know it sounds bad to say and it's harsh, but that's what it is. We think in this world the devil ain't real. No, you still got a consequence. The baby isn't here, but the after effects of the baby is still here. And that baby is haunting you. That baby is haunting you. Because every now and then you're going to think about that baby. Now imagine how much torture it is for a woman to give birth to the baby and see it. Imagine you give birth to the baby and then the baby's aborted. Or imagine they abort the baby and then bring the baby out and you see it. Imagine that psychological damage. Let's continue. To think back to those states the only states that investigated Planned Parenthood. Now, this is the reason that those states investigated Planned Parenthood. And it's because 86% of the Planned Parenthood abortion facilities are in minority communities. Now, take a look at the states with the strictest abortion laws. As you can see, the states with the strictest or stricter abortion laws are the states that investigated Planned Parenthood. And we can agree that Planned Parenthood, having 86% of their abortion facilities in minority communities, is predatory and wrong. These strict or stricter abortion laws weren't put in place to punish women or take away their rights. These stricter laws were put in place to actually protect women, to actually save women's lives, especially Black women who abort their children at the highest rate in the country at 38%. So, as you can see, these states, who many folks would call racist, the red states, the Republican states, the MAGA Republican states, the conservative, all the names they give them, these states investigated Planned Parenthood and they said, you know what? No more abortions, because they saw what was going on. It's not about a woman's choice. Y'all are in there performing the devil's work. Y'all using the babies for science, using the baby for them snake bites, selling the organs, and ruining the woman's bodies. And the after effects of that is a higher maternal mortality rate and a higher rate of miscarriage. So there's nobody winning situation. Nobody's winning. Nobody. And so these states investigators said, you know what? We got to put a stop to this. And again, based on the NIH, legal induced abortion is a root cause of the racial and ethnic disparity noted in maternal mortality. In the United States, the death rate from legal induced abortion performed at 18 weeks gestation is more than double that observed of women experiencing a vaginal delivery. So the difference again between white women dying giving birth and Black women dying giving birth is abortions. And nobody wants to just say it. Black women have the most abortions. We have to stop running from the truth. Just because I say that, it doesn't mean that white women are perfect. It doesn't mean that white women are perfect. It's just I'm stating a fact that Black women have the most abortions at 7% of the population. But these states said, after they investigated Planned Parenthood, they said, we can't do it. So we either got to get rid of abortion or make the abortion law stricter. Now, to me, it's like they're trying to save y'all lives. They're trying to save lives because, here goes the drum roll, 86% of the Planned Parenthood facilities are in the communities with the people of color. So that means the group affected most by this is first going to be Black women. So that means that these racist white folks decided to pass laws to save Black women's life in the present and in the future.
I want to ask you, especially before you go, about abortion. You've made headlines on that topic lately. You're not the only one. Kanye West, or Ye, talking to our Tucker Carlson this week, had this to say.
I care about the fact that there's more Black babies being aborted than born in New York City.
The most recently available data from New York City's Department of Health seems to support what he's saying there. But more broadly, according to the CDC, about 38% of abortions were obtained in the U.S. by Black women. The U.S. Census Bureau, though, says that just 13.6% of our population is Black. Do you share Ye's concern that Black Americans are disproportionately impacted, he says, by abortion?
I share the concern of women across the state of Georgia that they are being denied access to medical care.
So she asked her a simple question. Do you care about more Black babies being aborted than born in New York City? Now, An easy answer is just to say, yeah, I care about it. It sounds bad. Like, you're not going to lose votes saying, yeah, that sounds bad. But she won't even say that, even though it won't affect none of the votes she's going to get. She finna drive home this point.
That in the state of Georgia, black women are most likely to die of maternal mortality issues because they're denied access to health care under this governor before they get pregnant. They are denied access to medical care during their pregnancy because of the medical shortage that we have in the state of Georgia, fomented by this governor. That when they have this child, if they choose to carry a child to term, if they're even allowed the choice of what they want to do, that postpartum, they are denied access to health care afterwards. We know that in Brian Kemp's Georgia, a black woman faces a lethal choice, and that is to either have a crystal ball and know she's pregnant before she can actually know, or face forced pregnancy with very little support.
Okay, real quick. She said face forced pregnancy. She said a crystal ball to know whether or not she's pregnant. So basically, she's just saying women just walking around here with no rights at all. Just, they walking down and men just coming to take it, getting them pregnant. And they just, like, she's painting a picture of a dystopian existence for women. Women just walking around here with no control over nothing. Do y'all feel that helpless? Do y'all feel that weak and helpless? Let me know, please.
And unfortunately, unless I replace Brian Kemp, there will be a desert of access for black women across the South. Georgia will be the only state, if I become governor, we will be the only state from Texas to South Carolina where women can have access to care. That's 56% of the black population of the United States centered in the South and denied access to life-saving medical care. And so I'm going to fight as hard as I can to protect the right to abortion, because that's how we protect the rights of women, and that's how we protect the rights of Georgians.
Were you to become governor, where would you draw the line? 15 weeks, viability, 36 weeks? What's the limit?
What I've always said is that abortion is a medical decision that should be made by a doctor and the woman.
She asked her again, okay, so if you become governor, then what's the limit? She gonna say it's between the doctor and the mother. So that's a no-brainer. Of course, between the doctor and the mother, that's duh. Goes without saying. What she doesn't want to say on TV is full term. All this means full term.
And that the point of viability as determined by a doctor should always take into consideration the life and health of a woman. That should be the standard.
Now, you listen carefully to Stacey Abrams, you can hear her evil and twisted plot. Stacey Abrams is saying that Georgia will be. Y'all remember Star Wars? Y'all remember Jabba the Hutt? No, let me stop. I'm sorry. Let me go. I'm sorry. She just reminded me of Jabba the Hutt, right? Let me stop, though. Let me go back.
That the point of viability as determined by a doctor should always take into consideration the life and health of a woman. That should be the standard.
Now, you listen carefully to Stacey Abrams, you can hear her evil and twisted plot. Stacey Abrams is saying that Georgia will be the only place, if she's governor, that a woman in the South can have an abortion. So what is she saying? She's saying that she wants to be the queen of the South. She wants to be the one to control abortion. She wants to sit on her throne and welcome all the women from across the Southeast to come and get an abortion. But more importantly, she wants to do this with black women, because black women lead the nation in abortion. And black women in Georgia have the highest maternal mortality rate. I have a great comment right here from Easy Skankin. When you get pregnant, a normal doctor doesn't ask about abortion in your history. So therefore, women are at risk because they are being told that abortion is safe. Exactly. See, they know that a regular doctor is not even going to ask you about it. So you're just proceeding forward because they're telling you it's a safe procedure, but meanwhile, your insides are all torn up. And so then now when somebody dies, they say, oh, it's racism. When a black woman dies, they say, oh, it's racism. They're not asking about the abortions. And again, this is not about judgment. This is about what is the intent behind abortion. The intent behind it is evil and wicked. Let's continue.
2019, 15,000 plus abortions were done. 46% of them were done by black women. Now, if the KKK had said we will pay for every black woman to have an abortion who wants one, we would say to ourselves, wait a minute, something's up. Why don't they want us to have our babies?
Now, I know you all are sitting there right now thinking, I can't believe Stacey Abrams was like this. I can't believe that Stacey Abrams would be a part of some agenda that would end the life of black children and black women. But I assure you that she is. You know, Stacey Abrams gets most of her funding outside of Georgia. She only gets 12% of her funding from Georgia. The rest of her funding comes from states like California, New York, and Washington, D.C. Stacey Abrams is literally following in the footsteps of Margaret Sanger. I imagine that Margaret Sanger is probably somewhere dancing in the flames of hell, happy that someone decided to carry the torch. No pun intended. But let's listen to Margaret Sanger and what she thought about black people way back when. Let's listen and see what Margaret Sanger envisioned when it came to Planned Parenthood. This letter is dated December the 10th, 1939. Ms. Rose sent me a copy of your letter of December 5th, and I know that you doubt it worthwhile to employ a full-time Negro physician. It seems to me from my experience where I have been in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas, that while the colored Negroes have great respect for white doctors, they can get closer to their own members and more or less lay their cards on the table, which means their ignorance, superstitions, and doubts. They do not do this with the white people. If we can train the Negro doctor at the clinic, he can go among them with enthusiasm and with knowledge, which I believe will have far-reaching results among the colored people. His work, in my opinion, should be entirely with Negro professions and the nurse, hospitals, social workers, as well as the county's white doctors. His success will depend upon his personality and his training by us. The minister's work is also important, and also he should be trained, perhaps by the Federation, as to our ideals and goals that we hope to reach. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. So as you can see, Margaret Sanger's plan is being carried out through Stacey Yvonne Abrams and Raphael Warnock, the Reverend. I hope you all enjoyed this presentation, and I hope I gave you something to think about before you go and cast your vote. And as always, remember, I love you and take care. One more thing. If Stacey Abrams can't get you to abort your baby, she's going to make all of you all suffer.
The Georgia Department of Revenue announced last week that Georgians can now claim an unborn child as a dependent on their state taxes. Would you overturn that if you become governor?
Absolutely.
Georgia Department of Revenue announced last week that Georgians can now claim an unborn child as a dependent on their state taxes. Would you overturn that if you become governor?
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to ask you all a question. If a woman can claim an unborn child on her taxes, why would she say no to that? Why would she overturn it? Like, think about think about it. Why would she overturn that? Why, why would she overturn the woman being able to claim the child in the womb on the taxes? Why would she overturn that? I'll tell you why. Because she don't want you to keep the baby. She knows that the claiming on her taxes means you have money to take care of the child. She don't want that. She want to make the child birthing experience the worst thing on earth. So if we recap, all of this, what we find is that, let me blow this up real quick. If we recap this, we see that under 15 years of age, that's the most abortions. 15 and under 15 is the most abortions at 71%. So that's why they target the children. Abortions cause death to the mother and the baby. Also causes ectopic tubal pregnancy, infertility, hysterectomy, stillbirth, premature births, and 66% chance of a miscarriage and more. So you see, the whole purpose of abortion in the end is death. Thank you, Captain Sojourner, for the super sticker. Thank you. The purpose of abortion is death. And again, I told you all before that Black people are the people of influence. So this is why Black women are targeted when it comes to abortion, because they want Black women to be the ones to get everybody else to have an abortion. This is all by design. This is not, they got Stacey, think about it. Stacey Abrams is their Trojan horse. It's her. They think about it. Everybody loves Stacey Abrams. All the rappers, all the Democrats, all the woke companies. Everybody loves Stacey Abrams. Why? I'll tell you why. Because she's the face of the agenda. And you all haven't done it already. I got a subscription on Instagram. My subscription on IG is 99 cents. For 99 cents, you all can help a starving content creator. But for 99 cents, I can create more projects like this, because these projects cost money. They cost time and they cost money. So if you all could subscribe to my Instagram channel at just 99 cents, back in the days, they say for the price of a cup of coffee, you can feed this young child. It's the same thing with me. For 99 cents, you can ensure that I can put out even better content. You see right here, this is like a mini documentary I put out, right where we put out. Me and Kirk Gray, I don't know if that person is still on here, but for 99 cents, we can change the world. Somebody said abortions had linked to breast cancer. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? Any thoughts? She is. I need my $40 back. She is. She sure is. Right. Right, Deshaunay. She said you can't create a hostile environment for a baby in the uterus and be surprised when you have trouble getting pregnant in the future. When these women are pregnant, they should be having all kind of peace around them. Listen. This is why, think about the ultimate design of being married. Think about the woman. Think about you being a woman, and all you got to do is just sit back and relax and be pregnant. You got the man in the house taking care. Just imagine what God intended. You could just sit back and relax and just be pregnant. You ain't got to stress. You can take a different house. You can paint. You can listen to classical music because they say that increases the baby's IQ. Just imagine being stress-free with your child. Just imagine you can just kick back, be with a man that loves you. Y'all got a peaceful home. You got nothing to worry about. You can eat all your cravings you want to eat. You can just relax and chill. That's God's design for you to be able to be pregnant in peace. You can measure your stomach, all that. That's the goal, not this stress. You don't know where he at. You calling the phone. You 8 months. He ain't picking the phone. No, that ain't what God intended. Keep your legs closed. And men, keep your leg in your pants. This is what God intended. Y'all to be pregnant in peace. It's supposed to be a wonderful experience. It's supposed to be joyous. I be seeing them when it's black love, when it was just love, the man took care of the household. We got married, but when it became black love, she pregnant and they both fighting. Or he got her pregnant and somebody else pregnant at the same time. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. I mean, it is low vibrational, Chaz. I mean, it is. At the end of the day, man, this is what it's supposed to be. It ain't supposed to be stressful. It ain't supposed to be stressful for the woman. She carrying the child. She's supposed to be relaxed, feet kicked up. Supposed to be a joyous experience. So she can say, I had a great pregnancy. I had fun carrying my child. Now that arguing and hollering, that the baby can sense all, the baby get all that. We just went through this. The baby can hear everything. The baby can hear and feel everything at 5 months. The baby know what's going on. My mom ain't happy. My mom is stressed. Come on, y'all. We talking about preserving life. We seeing God work in the womb. The Bible said that God knew us before we was in the womb. Before we were in the womb, we was already talking with God. Come on, y'all. Thank y'all for the badges and the subscriptions. But listen, you all, I love y'all. Y'all have any questions, then Corey Babsky said, when pregnancy is stressful, the baby comes out looking like Stacy. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. But listen, man, even though Stacey Abrams is a demon with high cholesterol and diabetes, we still got to pray for her. You know, we still got to pray that, you know, God can still touch her heart, that she can still be used. You know, we still got to pray for, I know it's hard, but we still got to pray for Stacey. You know, we still got to pray for her. Somebody said, who you voting for? Who y'all voting for? I ain't answering that question. I ain't answering that question. Who y'all voting for? Thank you, McKay, okay, for the super sticker. Thank you. Yeah, you got to pray for it still, though, because, you know, God ain't done till they in the casket. Man, I know her diet might get her there faster than normal, but God ain't done till she in the casket, so we got to still pray for her. You know, she's still, you know, she's still God's child, you know, even though she a demon, you know. So that's right. I'm voting for God. That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna tell you who I like, though. I'm gonna tell you who I like as a candidate. I like Governor Kemp because he kept Georgia open so we could turn up during the Peter pandemic. And I like Herschel Walker because I feel like he's genuine. I don't like Warnock because I don't agree with pastors that promote and get paid by Planned Parenthood and promote abortions. And I don't like Stacey Abrams' policies because her policies are death, destruction, and damnation. So are Warnock's too, though. They're both, they both liberal agendas, just turn Georgia into California and New York. And I'm telling you right now, black folks, y'all will not like Georgia being like New York, California. Trust me. So if y'all voted for Stacey Abrams, I need y'all to repent. If you all voted for Stacey Abrams, I need you all to repent. Am I back? Am I back? Well, I'm back on YouTube. Instagram about to cut off. But listen, y'all, I love y'all on YouTube. Thank y'all so much. If y'all get a chance, subscribe to my Instagram channel so I can put out more of this kind of content with documentaries. I want to do this kind of stuff with all the controversial topics, like all the stuff folks don't want to discuss, all the folks stuff they lying about, like all this. Nobody ever told us that the abortions lead to women dying giving birth and miscarriages. Nobody told us that. And now you see why they never mentioned it, because if they did, folks would be outraged at what Planned Parenthood is doing and what these Democrats are trying to do. But anyway, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And I will see you all probably on Wednesday. Thank you.